Welcome to the Ancient Experience. My name is Talon Telford. I will be your host. I do have degrees in archaeology and forensic anthropology, and we will be going over all things archaeological. We will also be going over things that are associated with history, and we will also be going over geography so that you understand where in the world we're talking about and give you some context of how this may play into our lives as individuals. Let's get into it. Ancient Mayan vase purchased by U.S. woman for $4 is returned to Mexico. This is a nice, lighthearted story by The Guardian about a Mayan vase that was purchased at a thrift store here in the U.S. In fact, in Washington, D.C., she bought it in I believe, 2019 for $5. It is being returned to the Mexico National Museum of Anthropology and History. The Mexican embassy thanked her for her role reuniting the 12 to 1800-year-old vase with their motherland. The individual who returned the vase, her name is Anne Lee Dozer. Dozer said, "Giving it back feels so much better than it would if I put it up for sale online and got a bunch of money." It's really important to recognize that some things, especially such as historical and cultural value of an entire country and people, can't really put a number on that. I really do appreciate this article because of the idea that history being preserved for the next generation. My instant reaction to this news article is one of really enjoying the fact that this lady was responsible enough to give back a piece of cultural significance to the country of origin. I can appreciate that as an anthropologist. Now, I do have to tell you that I have rarely seen anybody return something for nothing. Most people are out to make a quick buck, and it's their right. However, it's kind of nice to see somebody doing this for the right reasons versus the wrong reasons. Please put down in the comments on your idea of, would you return the vase? Please put return if you would return the vase, or sell if you would be selling the vase, and hopefully Mexico could buy it back. I don't have any idea what these would be worth in the antiquities market, but I would imagine that they would bring, I think I've seen things like this bring up to $5,000 a piece. So we're talking about 10 grand. We're kissing away. That would be a large chunk of change to say no thank you. And it does take a special person to do that. I would like to think I'd be one of those people, but until you're put in that situation, you never know. So don't forget to comment in the bottom to determine whether or not you would return it or sell. Here in a moment, we will be doing our second article. So go ahead and don't forget to do like the signage says. Welcome back to the Ancient Experience. Our next news article is new city being found in the Yucatan Peninsula. This was about a year ago. It has since started to be excavated. It is about 50 miles to the north of another, I believe it's Chichimal. So it's about 50 miles north of one of the larger and most famous cities in the Mayan discoveries in the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, this is located in a ecological reserve. They have named it Aco, which means stone column. They say that it is between BC. Its size covers about 124 acres. Now, one of the things I wanted to go over with you guys is in fact that I believe that there are many more lost cities in the jungle. I would love to use LiDAR associated with the jungles and try to start to peel back that jungle layer and get right down to it. LiDAR is in fact a plane flying over the head, bouncing radar waves and waves in which cut through the dense jungle. What it does is it shows you the height of certain aspects of the floor. Only man-made objects have straight walls. So when you see that stuff on the LiDAR, as you can see here, the squares and the boxes that you can tell are obviously not something that is created in nature, then you can tell that there's definitely something worth investigating. I do know that there was an archaeologist in Egypt that used LiDAR, and she found something like 150 new um, sites in Egypt that were previously unknown because they could just tell from the way that the sand set on the desert that there has to be something underneath there because there's just a drastic change in elevation for no reason. That's what the letter would provide. And I do believe that there's many other um, civilizations that have yet to be touched. I am coming up with a new theory that all civilization, as we know it, um, started between the 40th degree parallel north and the 40th degree parallel south. In between those two, all civilizations started. Um, Now you think that that might be a big, huge area. It kind of is, but it's not that big. If you go back, you'll be able to trace all uh, origin stories to come back from that those two regions from the north. They are a very temperate zone. I'm guessing that it would be between, in my estimation or my theory, it comes between. Uh, it can go as far as the equator, but really we're not looking quite that far. We're looking more like about 20 degrees, okay? 25. Now, there are civilizations that did happen to spring up in there. That's why I do cover those. But for the most part, most civilizations that we are known for throughout the world really started between the 45th and the 20th parallel, um, which is a right temporal zone that seems to be like the Goldilocks zone associated with that. So what you're going to want to do is understand that with that temperature, life was really easy to exist. Been able to spring up there easier than any other place. Now, with the ice ages, um, because modern humans, you and I, have been around for over 150,000 years, it would be foolish for me to think that just associated with the modern ice age. However, um, I do have to say that as an archaeologist, I was taught that Clovis first is associated with here in North America. I do not believe Clovis was first here in North America. I did do my my master's thesis on ancient transcontinental trade, stating that the world was much smaller than we ever imagined it would be. There are several things like cotton, corn, tobacco, uh, even as far as, in Brazil, they found Greek ships, Greek triremes in the bay there in their main city in Brazil. I think it's Rio de Janeiro. And they covered them up with cement because there was an individual trying to excavate them and get permission to do that archaeology, and they just did not want to hear it. When the Greeks were and the Romans were in their powerhouse, that the Chinese literally sent their navy around the world, which is documented. So it's uh, it would have been foolish to think that there was an ancient trade with other countries, even giving the normal um, trade winds that happen in the ocean. There are several trade winds that take them right into, and that's one of the reasons why um, Columbus landed in Hispaniola, was because that's what happens with the trade winds. It takes you right into the Gulf of Mexico. Um, and they talk about Punt being closer to Africa. I made the stipulation that it was not. Here are my final thoughts on this article. It is nice to see that people are still trying to go out and get new discoveries. I think there's a lot hidden, and I think we need to really start scouring the Earth's surface to find our origin histories, not just here in North America, but in other aspects in Africa, um, anywhere where the truth can be hidden. And once we do that, we will understand who we are and where we came from. Till then, it's going to be one of the biggest mysteries. So go ahead and comment down below if you think that we should have more discoveries like that. Also, please put in the comment if there's a specific um, news article associated with archaeology or history that you would like for me to go over. And have a great day.